Boom, there we are. Hey, 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 how we doing?
Vote for blue team. Fuck red team.
Oh shit, we got red versus blue going on
he's
in here.
it.
Welcome in everyone to episode 11 of Fancie's Fables and of Eras. Tonight we're joined by our two wonderful players. You're on this side, not this side. Bulletproof Turtle Man and Art is my voice. We just wrapped up our mini arc with our first guest player, Mick Huntingtons. He did a wonderful job as the gnome Eros, and brought upon I would say a great conclusion to the last arc. If you missed it, make sure you check out the YouTube, and also check out the rest of our episodes there as well. So, I will begin tonight the same way I begin every night. With a question.
Oh, man.
The question this week is real simple. What is your character's phobia?
You say simple.
I know, right?
I think for Ko, it would be...
Now, we're not talking about, like, your fears. We're talking about Indiana Jones in quicksand won't grab a snake because he's terrified of them.
Okay, let me rethink this then. I don't
Which
think
is
he
not
has
how
one.
I answered the question, by the way.
I don't think he has one.
Bullshit.
Kalashtar they're made to be focused. They train for this shit. Mind over matter. Literally, mind over matter is their whole thing. Strong minds. So I guess maybe, no, that would be a fear, not necessarily a phobia. Damn. Yeah, he doesn't have one. He can rationalize all of it. Unless he loses his mind, but that would be his fear. Losing his mind in his, I wouldn't say battle against Raktal's spirit and Raktal's mind, but maintaining the balance and losing himself within the spirit and not having his own identity is his fear, but not an actual phobia.
Okay.
What?
This is a difficult one for Temmin. Just because I don't think he's intelligent enough to recognize what a phobia is. His intelligence is literally 10, so it's I feel like to develop a phobia, it has to come from some kind of past experience where, you've had some kind of bad thing happen to you, so now your body has traumatized it, and now it's becoming an irrational phobia, where it's blown up the past experience to something greater in your mind, but he's kind of been trained to just not focus on any of those things. And at the same time, I don't think he's lived long enough to even have had any type of real I'm gonna roll for it right now.
Okay. All right. I will say it's okay, because the purpose of these questions is just to learn more about our characters here.
That's fair. But
Bought new dice from too.
just to touch on it a little bit, I feel like Temmin and Ko are in similar positions. Well, Bullet explained it as Temmin not being smart enough.
Well, I think there are a lot of similarities. There are a lot of similarities between these two characters, and I think it's something we're going to come to see maybe tonight.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what'd your roll tell us there, Temmin?
I got an 80.
Okay.
Did you roll a d20?
I rolled a 100 percentile dice.
You got 80,
really
not
low.
8.
Oh, 80. Oh, shit, my bad. I was like 8. I was like, that's pretty fucking low.
Is that the likelihood that Temmin is afraid of something? That's okay.
I didn't even think
Your
that far.
answer suffices to me. It's
Okay.
all right.
Okay. I will have an answer by the end of tonight.
Oh
And
my
maybe
God.
it will manifest as something hilarious. We shall see.
His phobia is Ko. All right. So, we pick up shortly after we had left off. After the party waves farewell to Eros, and they go about their own separate business in the city of Waterdeep. A few days have passed, and Ko is heading to the Owl's Eye because he just received a letter that morning from one of Evan's acolytes, informing him that Evan had some news for him. And if you recall back to a prior episode, Evan had some of Ko's blood, which he was using a modified scrying technique in order to find others of his race. Temmin, who's been spending the past couple of days with Phoebe at Geke's shop, is... he's learning a lot about plants, but there's only so much plant knowledge that Temmin can take, I believe. And he's going to take a little bit of a wander around the streets of Waterdeep before he passes a bookshop and thinking about the occurrence and regularity of books so far in their journey. He's thinking maybe there's a book that can help him put together some of the thoughts in his mind. And who's the one person with a multitude of books? So it is that we head to the Owl's Eye, and we'll start with Kalashtar. You are within the Owl's Eye.
Am I downstairs?
You are downstairs. Nameless peon just let you into the front door.
Jeremiah?
No, nameless peon.
Oh my God. I'll pull out the letter. Be like, Evan has news for me. Correct.
One of the acolytes looks at you. Yes, we'll be right with you. You see the tower is in a much better state than when you had left it before heading to Baldur's Gate. No mass chaos of papers and books everywhere. The acolyte that regards you walks away, and then you hear the door open again behind you. Temmin, you step into the Owl's Eye Tower.
Oh God. Temmin, what are you doing here?
Oh, hello, Ko. I've come here to read books.
Huh. And I'm gonna kind of like look side to side real quick, and no Phoebe with you, right?
Oh no, Phoebe is tending to the plants with Geke.
Okay. This is good.
Oh, why might that be good, friend?
Well, you know, I've got a meeting with Evan, and well, it seems like Phoebe didn't really like him before, so I'd much rather just like get straight to the points of business with him and not, upset anyone.
Oh, she is upset?
I don't think she's gotten quite to that point yet, but I can tell she isn't fond of him. Not like she normally is with other people. She's super like bubbly and cheery and stuff, but not around him.
Oh, you are very perceptive. Sometimes, I am told that I am like a wall where things bounce off of me, and I am very oblivious to things that happen around me.
Hmm.
I do not think that is true, right, friend?
Sometimes you surprise me, and I'm inclined to agree that it is not entirely true. However, given your nature as a Warforged, most people do not have as much of an insightful conversation with your kind, at least in my experience.
Oh, that is interesting.
Well, I have to get up to my meeting. Maybe I'll see you on my way out.
Sure. Suppose I'll be down here looking for the books.
I'm gonna walk away, bro.
I'm just standing there, just waving goodbye.
As you end your exchange, Ko, next to you in the space of nothingness, the image of the wall on the far side cracks open, and then a door opens next to you in space. And then you hear a familiar voice from inside. Come in, Kay. Come in, Ko.
There's gonna be like that brief moment of hesitation due to past experiences with teleportation. And,
Well, this is a portal.
None of it, like, there's no difference in Ko's head. The moment he sees it, he's just like,
Oh, what are you waiting for, Ko? And Temmin just come up right behind him, like start pushing him towards the portal.
I got it. Thank you. All right. Kind of just like brace himself for it, just steady himself. And then he'll walk into the portal. Maybe that's his phobia. It's just portals and teleportation.
We discovered it.
We discovered it.
So you step through, and as you pass through the shimmery, shaky visage of what would be behind this space, you enter instead into Evan's study. As you walk through, though, you hear Evan's voice again. You as well, Temmin, come on in.
And Temmin is just like, oh, I'll be right there behind you, Ko. And he just starts running towards the portal.
Okay. Temmin sprints through, colliding with Ko, who's trepidatiously tiptoeing on the other side.
Chest bump, right? Collision, pushing him.
Yep. The door then swings closed behind the both of you, and you stand within
Jesus Christ.
Evan's highly decorative study.
Temmin, you know, never mind. Evan, may I? I gotta gesture over to the general direction that the drinks are usually in.
Yes. Help yourself. You see he's currently at a table in the corner of the room. You've seen the table before. It's next to a cabinet with a glass door on it, and inside on the shelves are a many assortment of crystals. As he leans over the table, you see a faint glow of mystic light wash over him and kind of peek out around the silhouette of his form.
I'm gonna, immediately start pouring my drink and stuff. And as I'm pouring, I'm just like, you've gotten some more news for me, I take it, from your letter.
Yes. Then probably a full minute passes before he finishes his sentence. I found someone, I think. And then the glow fades from the table in front of him. And he steps back from it. Oh. He then waves his hand, and a goblet graces it as he takes a large swig. Oh. Dreadfully sobering. Welcome in, both of you. Yes. Make yourselves comfy. Drink whatever you'd like.
Walking up to Ko, I'm gonna look at what he's drinking, and grab myself a goblet and just pour it into it slowly. And just look at it.
Kind of look up at Temmin and just like, okay, strange. So yes, you found one of my kin.
Evan heavily drops his weight onto the love seat and just reclines. Oh, this takes so much energy out of me, Ko. I just have so little these days.
Well, I do appreciate your efforts, of course.
Oh, yes. Well, I used the rest of the samples I had taken from you, but I've only been able to pinpoint one, and they are extremely close as far as distance is concerned. In fact, you're lucky that they're still in this plane. The closest that I had felt seems to be in Baldur's Gate, which is very coincidental, because I know you just came back from there a week ago?
Yes.
Something of the sort.
Just about. So I have to return to that city.
It wasn't strong. It was a energy source. It matched your own, but I couldn't tell you gender or age or anything.
No. That's completely fine.
Baldur's Gate is a very big city. But as I am out of samples, that is all the information I can grant you right now.
Well, Cole's gotta say, well, like while rolling up his sleeve. Would you like some more?
I find that it's best fresh, yes, but I've just been so labored. I'll take some when you get back from your journey.
Well, I know you say you weren't able to pinpoint any precise coordinates, but were you able to tell just regionally within the city where they might have been? North, south?
From what I had seen, there was that dreadful marketplace that they have. The Wide, I believe they call it.
Oh, the Wide.
Oh, the marketplace.
Yes, there was a large hustle and bustle around the source. I was able to hear, but not very much see. There was someone speaking in a very foreign tongue. They were speaking common, but their accent was very thick. Something akin to Elvish.
Huh.
He takes another large swig. I'm sorry, friend, that's the best I have for you right now.
Done quite a lot.
Oh, yes, and Temmin. Yes, I did call you in here. Did I hear you mention something about reading when you had walked in?
Oh, yes. I feel as if I am lost. So I have heard that there have been a great many wizards and others that have found enlightenment through reading and educating themselves. So I wish to perhaps expand my horizons by reading such books.
Lost, huh? He takes a scrutinous look at you, eyeing you up and down, looking at your weapons. What is it you said you are again? I'm sorry, your race clearly is not one of this place.
I am called a Warforged.
Warforged. Very
He
interesting.
comes from the same plane of existence as I do.
Yes, you had mentioned that. And here I thought you were some advanced automaton.
Somewhat consider it like that.
Warforged. Warforged. And you're lost, you say? Finding yourself seeking purpose, perhaps?
Yes, as if to seek enlightenment and to understand what life is.
Well,
As-
the only answer to life is death. He finishes his goblet and suspends it in the air before standing. I have just the thing for you. He then turns to one of his many large bookshelves. You see him kind of trace his finger along many spines before taking a step back and looking at the whole thing. No, not here. He then waves his hand and you see all of the books kind of tremble and move into one another before separating out again. Completely different tomes now cover the shelves. Where was it? You know, this is one of a kind. Don't lose it anywhere, but I think it can give you Karen, yes. He then pulls out a leather-bound book. It's not thick, and you've seen some tomes so far in your journey, especially many within the library itself. This one is about yea thick. The leather binding on it appears to be supple and malleable. And on the front of it, in golden leafing, says Karen's Musings. He then walks over to you and hands it out. This book, if you were to call it such a thing, it's more of a autobiographical work. But biographical, you see, there was a warrior. His name's Karen. Great, fantastic warrior. In fact, would rival the god of war himself. The problem being, he didn't die in the war he was raised to fight, so he traveled the lands trying to find the meaning of life. It's a very fascinating read, but I think perhaps this could glean some information for you. Just respect it. It's the only one.
Oh, thank you. This does seem like the thing I need. My commander did tell me to go live for myself and to find my own meaning to life. But I did not yet understand what he meant by that.
Well, if you are a warforged, then perhaps there's some meaning to be found in what's left after. Oh, you also probably can't read that. He puts a finger on the book and you see words, letters, come off of it, much as you have seen before when he reads books. There are different glyphs and symbols, and then they transform into the common alphabet before pulling back into the book. I've cast Detect Language on it. While you're reading it, you should be able to understand what it says.
Oh, much appreciated.
Yes, don't say I never did anything for you. He then sits back on the seat. Well, have fun in Baldur's Gate, Ko. I mean, I get many items sent to me from there, but I don't go quite often myself anymore.
Will you be transporting me, or shall I find my own means?
Dreadfully sorry, Ko, but you're gonna have to take the long route this time. I am just too tired in order to summon that magic. But hey, you'll have plenty of time to read your book and talk
I'll
to
figure
your
something
spirit.
out. Yes, I'll figure it out. But I appreciate it. You know, this actually might save me. Ko's gonna kind of like look down at his stomach. It might save me in some ways.
Good. All right, you may leave. The door that you enter through swings open. Its shimmery, shaky visage before you.
Well, I'll see you when I get back, Evan. Thank you. And I'll turn
Yes.
to leave.
Thank you
I'll
again.
put my glasses down too. He just can't just keep stealing his glasses.
All right. So as you both exit Evan's study, you appear outside the Owl's Eye Tower itself, back in the castle district of Waterdeep. You now have your journey ahead of you to Baldur's Gate.
Temmin, I know you are very accustomed to your swords, and your kind doesn't really need much in the way of sustenance. But do you need to gear up before we leave?
I am always ready for war and ready to move.
Such is your kind. And Cody's gonna like walk away. I have a few things that I need to pick up.
Oh, then let us help you prepare.
Yes. First and foremost, food and drinks.
I have rations if you need it, and a water skin.
I thank you for the water skin, but I might need a little bit of extra. As for the rations, what kind are they? Is that weird jerky shit that we had before?
No, but it is good for sustenance, as I've been told. For soldiers on the move.
Yeah, no. I'm far from those days. Let's go actually find something that would be useful for me.
So, as you head to acquire provisions, you are shopping around in the market, the trades district, in the market. And, you know, it's easy enough to get what you need. Are you seeking a carriage or a horse, or would you rent one for somebody to bring you?
Rent.
All right. Much cheaper.
Yes.
So, in total, this trip that you are acquiring provisions for one way and a caravan there.
Yes.
Okay. The total is going to cost you 5 gold.
Awesome.
All right. Now, while you are getting all this together, you you're shopping at one of the stalls, and somebody bumps you rather forcefully in the shoulder. And before you turn, there, standing next to you, clad in full armor, is a member of the guard. He stands looking at the stall, not at you, and very clearly is not looking at anything in particular before he speaks. You've been seen with that, walking handbag.
Oh, you must be referring to Kane.
So you have been.
You're familiar.
Oh, we're very familiar. Temmin, on your side, opposite, on the outside of both of you, another guard walks up and stands there. He crosses his arms and he looks at you. He's about the same height as you.
Oh, another bootlicker.
What did you just call me?
Ignore him. He's programmed a certain way. Yeah, don't mind it.
The first one then turns to regard you, Ko. You better be careful about who you're hanging out with. You know, Kane has a bit of a history around here. He's got a lot of enemies in high places.
Yes, I might be quite familiar with some of them. Yes.
Oh, could you tell me who his enemies are?
Not now, Temmin. I will explain later.
Oh, but if he is an enemy to our friend, then I must extinguish them. And I just look at the guard seriously.
So, how exactly can I help you today?
I'm just warning you. There is, just desserts coming to that pair of boots.
Oh, I am sure he would be delighted at those desserts. He likes bear claws.
You're really starting to annoy me.
Listen, I'm gonna kind of like lean into this guard a little bit. If you've got issues with Cain, let them be with Cain. While I appreciate the warning, it doesn't matter to me at this point. He gets into all sorts of stuff. I'm either there or not there. At the end of the day, he's his own person. As for Temmin, this guy, again, like I said, he's programmed a little off. So try not to take offense to what he says. He's not from around here.
He then leans in uncomfortably close. You can smell his most recent meal on his breath. I think it would be in your best interest to just steer clear, because anybody consorting with him is our enemy. And unless you want to have a problem right now, unless perhaps that item I saw you slip into your pocket suddenly becomes an issue.
Is he looking directly at me?
Oh,
or
yeah.
is he kind of just leaning sideways? Okay, looking directly at me. I'd imagine that Ko wasn't looking at him, but he kind of just leaned over to like talk to him more. Ko is actually gonna turn and meet him face to face, and with glowing eyes, so you wish to make an enemy out of one of Rok'Tau's descendants in a Warforged, along with Cain and all the trouble that he brings for you, which I know very well. Is that what you're saying? And I want to roll for intimidation.
Okay.
Where's my die? Well, how does this thing work? Let me make sure I remember this shit right.
How do intimidate?
How do intimidate? All right. So I have a 12 on my intimidate.
Okay. He squares you up and narrows his eyes. You hear the other guard on the other side of Temmin then speaks up. Hey, it's not worth it. And then he walks over to him and puts his hand on his shoulder. We'll take him out with the others, you know that. Don't start a fight right here. He then brushes his arm off. This ain't no city for scales.
I'm reaching out to the guard that just put his hand on the other guard.
Okay.
Putting my hand on his shoulder. I'm just gonna do like a forceful press on his shoulder. Was that a threat? Or a promise? Because we will deliver. And my eyes like flicker red.
You see him slap your hand away. And then he reaches for the hilt of his sword.
Ow. That hurt.
Now. You've hurt my friend. Aren't you going to apologize?
You then hear a sharp whistle from the distance. And both the guards, they look over and you see, well, you wouldn't know his name, but you would recognize him as being the guard that was berated by the dwarf guard, or the head bootlicker, as Temmin called him.
The one who has a grudge with Cain? Am I remember this correctly?
Oh, Francis.
So we see him, right?
Yes.
Sir Francis.
Sir Francis. Oh, God.
Oh, I'm gonna turn to and point at him like, oh, it is the failure bootlicker.
Temmin, please don't antagonize them further.
Oh, but they attacked us, Ko. I remember Phoebe stating that it is okay to fight back in self-defense.
But in this situation, let's take another quote from Phoebe or whatever and let this one slide a little bit. We don't want to start anything Correct. And I'm gonna be addressing the guard in front of me.
The two guards are already on their way.
Oh, they're
over to
already
him.
gonna. Okay, well then leave it, Temmin. don't chase after them, Temmin.
But we were trained to strike down cowards that would run from battle.
Oh, I understand. But this isn't the fight for us right now. Plus, they want to fight Cain, and who are we to deny our big blue friend glorious honor and leadership? He should be the one to make the decision. Remember that.
Oh, you are right.
Now, we've wasted enough time with these fools. I have things to buy.
And you do finish acquiring the rest of your provisions. And you head off on your 5-day journey.
5-day. Yes, I
south
remember.
to Baldur's Gate. Very similar scenery as if you had just traveled it a couple weeks ago. Now, south on the trail, is there anything you would like to do or discuss or anything of that nature on your way?
I think there would definitely be a moment where Ko brings up Temmin's intrigue in like his introspective like behavior, and even the fact that his commander released him, essentially, because that's not something that Ko is used to seeing when it comes to Warforged.
Right, and this would probably happen as they're on the caravan and Temmin's reading his book.
Yes.
Wonderful. In fact,
On
Temmin,
philosophy.
why don't you roll me a intelligence check as you begin flipping through this book?
You have the brain power.
19!
Nice.
All
The
right.
CPU is up and running.
All right. So,
Big brain Temmin.
Temmin, you begin to read. Actually, you know what? What is Temmin's style? Are you starting from the front? Or are you cracking this right in the center?
Oh, he would start from the front. He's very methodical.
Okay, good, good. So, opening the front, you find a prologue of sorts by the collectors of these letters and journals written by Charon himself. It explains that within you will find the writings of this legendary warrior of his days following the conclusion of the Second Great War. Finishing this preface passage, you then come to a rather abrupt startup to this journal of one of the first entries by Charon himself. And it is very conflicted. It is very disgruntled. Our protagonist, Charon, is angry. Although he just single-handedly brought the victory to his people by cleaving down half an army himself, he is not satisfied with the victory he has found. And even though he was paraded around town and given awards and gifts, he finds himself wanting something else. And that is as much as you read, as Ko begins to strike up conversation with you.
Oh, so I was muted. Temmin, if I remember correctly, you say you don't recall your creation.
I do not.
I really find it odd and strangely coincidental that I, a Kalashtar of Eberron, would arrive in a distant realm and be met with a warforge that I know to be a creation within Eberron as well. And I've been thinking about it for a while now, that if you were not created back in Eberron, then somehow you were created here, and whoever or whatever led to your existence here might have answers for me as well. I also find it really weird and even more fascinating that you were released from duty. That's not something that I've ever known to happen.
Why, yes. We of the East Wind Battalion were led by Captain Julius. And he was unique. He had
Was he
compassion.
also a force?
Yes. No. No. Okay. Just making sure.
All right.
Okay. No, he was a human.
Hmm.
He was compassionate. And he felt that what we were doing was wrong. And when he said it was time for him to face judgment for the sins of leading the battalion and bringing war to the innocent, he decided to let all his soldiers, all of us, go.
Sounds like quite the honorable man, if you ask me.
Yes.
Well, I'm certainly happy that you were released from such a cycle. Can't really say the same for my people. Much like you, we were entered into war almost since the time of our creation, since birth. Ongoing cycle. And that is why when you first met me, I was eager to get back home, because the battle continues. In some ways, I'm quite envious, actually. All I've ever known was fighting to survive. Though it's not quite the same as your circumstance, from what I gather. It is war nonetheless. Manifested.
Then have you ever thought of living in peace? What will you do?
For a time. See, for the Kalashtar, they've really just wanted peace. We've wanted peace for ourselves, for our kind. However, the Kori of Dalkor, well, the majority of them are dark entities that seek out, well, me and my people for what we are, where we harbor the spirits similar to theirs, but lighter in nature. And they seek to vanquish that existence. And subsequently, they seek to vanquish me. So the war I spoke of has been one that predates my time and my father's time and even my grandfather's time. And, well, if I'm being realistic, it's very likely that it will extend past my time.
If the war is so old, and the reasons extend past your generation and your father's generation, then isn't it meaningless? Shouldn't both sides come to a conclusion and find some form of peace? I
would think that. However, the rules of Dalcor aren't as simple. They are, in fact, more black and white, and somehow that complicates matters even more. The Kori of Dalcor, the entire makeup of Dalcor, the dreaming realm, shifts from a nightmarish hellscape to one of peace and light. Good dreams, if you will. I'm not entirely sure you have that concept, but if you are familiar with how dreams work for other people, the good things. As of right now, Dalcor is in a state of darkness, and it will be quite some time before that tide shifts. So as of right now, there are no ways to kind of come to the table and negotiate terms of peace. My people are being hunted through different dimensions because the Dalcor, or the Kori of Dalcor, don't want any light spirits to exist. It threatens the balance, or the lack of balance, in the current state of that realm. And it would be easy to kind of just ignore it and live peacefully. But the psionic links that we beings have with our spirits, it can be picked up on by other spirits. There's nothing really that separates them other than their nature. So they can track us eventually. And that is what continues to happen.
But contrary to everything you have just said, I do not believe that it is as simple as light versus dark. As I have fought in many wars led by my captain, and we were sent to extinguish what we believe to be the Dark Ones. And time again, we've fought and we conquered, following the command of our captain. But as time went on, we came to realize that suffering happened on both sides, both light and dark, and that this conquering to achieve a means of peace brought such violence and collateral damage to everyone that we came to realize that dark and light are not so different, and that both sides seek peace.
You know, there'd be, I guess, in most wars, that would be the case. But the war that I fight is one of survival. We would prefer if the inspired and their Kori left us be. Absolutely. But time and time again, they find us. They seek us out. And all we do is defend. And honestly, after many battles, watching friends and family be slaughtered. The time for living peacefully is coming to an end. Like a cornered animal, the Kalashtar are reaching their end point, and they either have to fight or die. Such was, well, it was getting close to the nature of my last battle before I was transported here. We just wanted to find a way to uplift our people and make them strong enough to defend themselves. Because not all of us are warriors. And out of nowhere, those fucking inspired returned again.
It seems as though we are approaching Baldur's Gate. I will have words for you, Ko.
Likewise.
As I close my book.
So
very interesting.
Ko and Temmin have a lengthy conversation specifically about the battles they fought, those they fought, and why they fought against them. More of a war story kind of conversation, surface level, but granting each other information into who their current traveling partner is, and the similarities they find within each other's current path. Seeking peace. But yes, Baldur's Gate approaches you on the horizon. It's massive gate, open to visitors, including yourselves. As you enter in, the familiar sight to Temmin, but new to Ko, of the portcullis of Baldur's Gate. The entryway being massive, large enough to accommodate any size caravan coming in for trade, or any size war machine exiting the city. It is hard not to notice the expansive, wide, the market square for Baldur's Gate, just off to your left as you enter in. The sounds and smells already wafting over to you. It is currently midday. The market is set to close in a handful of hours. But for now, there is still plenty of shopping to be done and investigating to be had. As Ko has some information that somebody connected to him may be here.
Yes. I think he'd take a moment to kind of like take in the scene since it's his first time seeing it. And he'll kind of like turn to Temmin. So I have important things to do here. I must find one of my fellow Kalashtar, perhaps. And that's going to require a great deal of effort on my part.
Oh.
So, if you don't mind, I'm going to just go and visit as much as I can and try to get a feel for things.
Well, perhaps you should follow me then. I believe it would be best if we asked one of the shopkeepers here. And I do have to get that wonderful pastry for Evan from Autumn. Being a shopkeep, I believe she might have seen multiple people around here.
Temmin, identifying a Kalashtar is quite the task, actually. You can't just look at them and say, there goes one.
Yes.
It's more of an experienced thing. But I digress. Lead the way. We'll go get the pastries for Evan first.
But, you know, in the book, it was rather interesting because it spoke about this person's travels, and it said that when entering a new town, a stranger can always be spotted rather easily, considering how they do not know the area. Much like you and I, perhaps your friend, who is also an outsider, can be easily spotted.
So let me let you in on a little thing about the Kalashtar that I was traveling with, who are the ones that are currently trapped here alongside myself. We were taught many ways to blend into societies. Why do you think I carry these instruments around? It's not because I want to be a bard. It's because it's a very useful position to have. So, unless I see them, it would be very hard to recognize them outside of me doing a little probing. But like I said, we can get Evan's Bakery pastries, and I'll just have to search along the way until we get there.
Interesting. I have learned much about the Kalashtar today.
There's plenty more to learn, my friend.
I am certain. As long as you are still here with us, there is much more for me to learn.
And well, if I'm being quite honest, you're the first Warforged that I've communicated with on such a level, and you're also the first to exhibit, this level of freedom. So I find you quite intriguing. Perhaps we can teach each other plenty of things.
Oh, certainly. I can show you much more interesting traps.
Just please don't call any of the guards bootlickers here.
Oh, yes, Phoebe said the guards here are to be referred to as sir or ma'am.
Yes. Keep that attitude. That is good. It will save us some trouble.
So, as you both head into the wide, searching for Autumn's Bakery, Temmin, give me a perception check, please.
What is my modifier?
Emma's about to get them lost in fucking Baldur's Gate.
+2. Okay, let's go. That's 13.
Okay, not bad.
All right. So as you're wandering around, you see some familiar sights, some familiar shops, one of which being the Wizards of the Wide, as you may recall. To Ko, none of it's familiar. The only real time you spent here was at Heath's Hot Drinks and Amberdune Books, though, of course, our Werejackal friends are long gone from Baldur's Gate at this point.
So, Temmin, are you sure you remember where this is?
Yes. Autumn's pastries.
But where exactly is it located? I'm gonna kind of gesture to the masses of shops and the crowd is where?
As you motion, from under your arm, Ko, slips this spindly man. He creeps under your arm and then kind of looks up at you with this crazed look in his eye. And as you look at this misshapen humanoid, you notice he's an elf. He looks up at you. Yes, and perhaps you've seen it in a dream.
I don't dream. Neither does he.
But that is precisely why. He then reaches into his ragged cloak and he pulls out a long tube of cloth with an opening on one end. and the other end is sewn closed. You need this dreaming cap. You, he points at Temmin. Oh, I sense something strange with you, friend. You need something like this. It'll bring you all you need to know.
No, thank you.
No, not you. You.
Oh, excuse me, sir. Will it perhaps tell me what meaning there is to life in death?
Oh, yes, all profound knowledge is to be had. As soon as you rest and slumber with the knowledge cap on your head. He then goes as if to place it on his head and then pulls it away real quick. 5 silver and it's yours.
Oh,
I'm gonna
I
put
remember.
a hand in front of Temmin. No, Temmin. We don't need that.
Oh,
Evan has more than enough things to help you with this. Trust me.
But
No
I
one
remember.
has this, friend. Only I have something as mystical as this.
I have learned this from my friend Sputs. Worry not, Ko. He said when there are people that try to sell you things, you would have to ask them to demonstrate. So please, demonstrate how wonderful this magical item is.
Well, I'd have to be asleep.
True.
Okay, I can help you with that. I am most definitely and well trained in helping knock people out.
No! Don't hurt me. Fine. I'll
would
keep it
only
for
hurt
myself.
a moment. Please, it would only hurt for a moment. I can heal you with my lay on hands afterwards.
You then see a few guards start to approach the commotion. I thought we've told you before, old man. And then you see the elf scurry, trip over his cloak, and then stumble as he sprints away from the scene.
Oh my god.
His mystical hat being left on the ground at your feet.
Well, Temmin, I guess you have a hat, if you'd like it. I don't really trust it. Far too many incidents. When I first got here, Kane kind of tricked me into doing some things, but yeah, if you want to, it's yours.
I'm picking up the hat, but as I'm picking it up, I'm looking at looking at Ko. But the problem, as I realize now, he said it is only when you sleep.
Yes.
But Warforged do not sleep.
Exactly my point in why we should have ignored him from the beginning. Perhaps
I will hold on to it.
We can save it for Kane. He could get a kick out of it. Yes. He dreams.
Oh
And he
yes.
sleeps.
Was he gonna put it on one of his horns?
Yeah, see what happens, you know? It'll be fine.
All right. So, nightcap now is in your inventory, Temmin. It's a little musty.
Oh god.
The visual I'm getting of this is hilarious. I love it.
So, the direction that the haggler had run off in fact, you see the sign for Autumn's Bread in that direction. Clandestine.
Oh,
I don't know what this place looks like.
there it is, Ko. A wondrous food stand with various pastries and delicious breads.
That's the place that you need to be, right? To get
Yes.
Evan stuff. Well, let us go before anybody else wants to give/sell us things.
Oh, there are plenty of people trying to get your attention. That's just the way it is here in the wild.
I have been to New York City. I will remain composed and will not give in to temptation.
Just don't look at them.
mixtape?
Just don't look at them.
There's no
Yo, you
way-
want this
avoid
sort
eye
of recording?
contact.
Yo,
It
yo,
records
check out
my-
my SoundCloud, yo.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Scan my QR code.
The best
Except
for
it's
me.
like little guys with like stones that record the music and just play back the sound.
Oh my
Yo, I'm an
God.
artificer. Check out my fat beats, yo. Boom, boom,
Oh
boom.
god. The best for me are the people who dress up in like cosplay and stuff and force you to take pictures with them and then pay for it.
Oh my god. What? You took this picture with me? You're gonna pay for it, man.
You talked me into this.
All right.
But anyways, yeah. Just
So-
like nope.
You arrive at Autumn's stall, which is kitty corner from Heath's Hot Drinks. And as Autumn finishes with a customer, very quickly she looks over at all of you. Welcome. She looks at you, Temmin. Welcome back.
Yes, and Temmin is wearing the cap on his head because to save time and be efficient, he did not stop and put it into his bag. He just put it on his head and just pulled it back a little bit.
I love
So it's like off to one side because he's never really worn a hat. So it's just kind of like, yo, dog, what up?
Nice. I love it.
Fast and
and
forge.
what a lovely hat you have now. And
Oh, thank you.
And you have brought a friend here to my lovely shop?
Yes, I have come to acquire pastries for our friend Evan from the Owl's Eye.
Evan, oh, what a delightful tease. Sending the likes of you to get my treats. This woman that stands before you, Ko,
What does she look like?
she has deep red hair and freckles on her skin. She has a very comely face, and her bosom is spilling from her dress. She then leans on the counter and looks at you and bats her eyes. Is there anything for the two of you that you would like today?
Actually, yes. Cole's gonna like walk up to the counter, kind of lean for it. I'm searching for an individual, somebody who might portray something like this, and he's gonna like allow his eyes to glow, pretty bright.
Oh,
Has anybody come across that might not exactly know what's going on in this city? An outsider.
she reaches her hand forward and twirls a finger in your goatee. We're all looking for somebody, honey. But there are many people who have magics that can do all sorts of wonderful things. I'm sorry, dear, you'll have to be much more specific than that. But if there's any hole you wish to fill, I have plenty of donut holes.
I'm curious. If everyone is looking for someone, does that mean you are looking for someone as well?
Let's just say baking fills the heart.
You know, I'm gonna kind of eye down the counter, up and down the counter. I've never had that before. He's gonna point at some random pastry that he's never seen before. How about I have one of those?
Ah, yes. One of the fire plane cookies. Very good choice. A man of spice would enjoy this.
Then yes, I would certainly approve.
Perfect. So she grabs the cookie. And you were picking up for Evan. She then
Yes.
heads to the back of the stall and shuffles through some stuff. Grabs a box and kind of out of your sight, puts something in it, and then puts it on the counter. You could give this to him special from me.
Oh, okay. How much
Ooh.
will that be?
Oh, this one's free of charge. But as always, everything is one silver piece each, except for my mini cakes. which were an amount that I don't remember what I said last time.
I will hand
Perhaps
her
one gold.
silver.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. She takes the silver from you. Go ahead and mark it off. And you get the fire plane cookie. And the parcel for Evan.
May I also try some of the fireplane cookies? I
Oh.
believe Phoebe would like these, and perhaps Kane as well.
Of course. How many for you?
I do not need sustenance, so 2 shall do.
Okay. All right. 2 silver. All right.
I hand it over.
Who is taking the parcel?
That's delivery boy's job.
Right, I have it in my bag, right? The bag that Evan gave me.
Yeah, he gave you. So it's like a. Imagine a metal Tupperware.
Okay.
Okay.
Evan's Tupperware. I'll put that into my inventory.
Perfect. When you pick up the parcel, you smell a sickly sweet smell, like a old sugary something.
Oh, this is very sweet.
At that statement, do you smell Ko?
I will give a slight whiff just out of curiosity.
Smells like a rotting pastry is in that box.
And now this is after she's given it to us. This is
give
what
to
it
him?
smells like.
Yeah.
Oh man. Not that I really want to dive into your business with Evan, but what exactly is in there?
Oh, just the sort of thing a 2-timing wizard son of a bitch deserves.
Ah. All right. I understand.
And tell him next time he wants some of my cakes, he can come himself.
Will do. Is there anything else that you want him to know, or is that all?
Oh, that's it. And if there's nothing else for yourselves, I do have some other customers to get to, dearies.
Absolutely.
Don't be strangers. She then winks at both of you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, Temmin. Yeah, let us be off. Kind of just like walk and turn.
As we're walking off, I'm gonna just look at Ko and just be like, Ko, what does 2-timing mean?
Well, I wasn't quite familiar with that term when I first arrived here, but I quickly learned about it in Waterdeep. Basically, liars and cheaters are 2-timers. That's the simplest way I can explain it.
Oh, so Evan is not a good person.
No. I did not say that. He just might have done something that came off as a bit shady and maybe even a betrayal of sorts to this woman.
Oh, does she not want revenge?
Well, I think you have the revenge right there.
Oh, okay.
You've been given a sacred duty, my friend.
Then I will cherish this duty.
The deliverer of revenge.
Yes. And I just like proudly thump my chest, not knowing what's in the package.
Is that the fucking...
All right.
I just thought about Shingeki no Kyojin, the Attack on Titan stance. Oh my god, it's fucking great. Oh man. All right.
So yes, as you take your package of revenge, and you continue to look around, and Ko, you continue to search your eyes through the crowd. Give me a
So-
perception check.
I was also gonna search around another way as well.
Okay.
Mentally,
Mm-hmm.
literally just like dropping whispers into the minds of people who like kind of catch my gaze a little bit, like, oh, they look kind of familiar. Nope, never mind, I've never seen them before in my life. Or hey, that person could be one of my kin.
You see a lot of confused faces whenever you do this. It's like they catch an eye with you, and then they hear something, and they kind of look around.
Right, cool.
Perhaps there is a better method. Rather than search around, we could bring the attention to us, as you are a musician.
Well, I was trying to do this more subtly. Just because, well, like I mentioned before, the Kalashtar are being hunted by our evil counterparts, if you will. And not every member of my party is as bold. So I figured that some of them might be trying to hide low.
No, but if we were trying to secretly broadcast a message, perhaps they would only understand. You could do so in plain sight while playing a song that perhaps your kinsmen will understand. It is with this method that we were able to go to different towns and communicate with our fellow brothers in the battalion.
That's actually quite the idea. All right. Well, I guess we have to find somewhere that's not too out of the way, but we don't want to encroach on other people's areas. It causes trouble. I learned that the hard way. Yeah. Temmin, let us find a spot.
As you talk and walk, conveniently so, you see Heath chasing off a gnome holding a lyre. The gnome shouts back, "I'll never work for you again!" And then Heath kind of just waves a rag at him. "I'd never hire you again either. Get the fuck out of here."
Oh, Ko, an opportunity that is shown upon us.
Oh, you know what? By some weird chance of fate. Well, excuse me. Had a little too much alcohol. No, by some weird chance of fate, it seems it has. Let's go over there. I actually really like their drinks anyways.
Heath wrings out the rag and places it back on his apron and tends a couple of his customers and strikes up conversation about the gnome and the music he was playing. As you approach, you overhear that he was playing an old sympathy song for a faction that had lost a war. And so you can garner a guess that didn't go over too well with Heath or maybe his patrons.
Is there any empty spots? Because if I remember correctly, Heath's place is the one that has like exact seat amount and everything, right?
He's got 5 seats. 2 of them are open.
And like just pull up to one of them, kind of rest on the counter a little bit.
Welcome. What can I get you?
Well, last time I was here, I had, what was that drink again? Oh, I can't recall. You know what? I'm sure anything on your menu would be fine. What do you recommend for today?
Same things I recommend every day. The half-orc crosses his arms and then points up at the sign above him that lists the mulled wine, hot cider, dragon's cocoa, and teas.
I will have the mulled wine.
Okay. And he serves it to you, 2 silver piece.
Sitting by. As he's like serving it to me, I'm like, I couldn't help but overhear that you're having a bit of an issue with your performances and musicians.
Yeah, damned gnome. He knew better than that here in Baldur's Gate. I'd have the watch on my ass in 2 seconds flat.
Well, if you are interested, I'm actually looking to perform.
Oh,
And worry not, I'm not from Baldur's Gate. I'm not even from, well, anywhere close to here. So any sort of weird songs that it won't do well with the crowd, well, they're just not in my arsenal.
foreigner, huh?
I can vouch. He is a great musician.
Alright. Well, for the rest of the day, you play for a couple hours. I'll give you a couple gold. How about that?
Fair enough.
And nothing crass. This is a family business.
Will do.
Alright, so you set up shop, as it were.
I start
Preparing.
playing the instrumentals to WAP.
It's an instrumental, so technically it's not crass.
Yeah. See, there you go. Only
right.
those who know will
You're right.
know. Only
Some of
those
the
who
patrons singing along. Alright.
Oh my god. That'd be fucking hilarious.
Heath is
yeah.
secretly just like tapping his foot to this while pretending that he doesn't know the song.
Yep. So Ko begins to strum a somber song from his hometown, or his home village. Give me a performance check, Ko.
Shall perform.
Can I assist as like his hype man?
Yeah, you guys hear
Oh
this?
my god, fucking Temmin, dude. Alright, let's see.
Come to
Go
Heath.
Ko. Go Ko.
There is a
Go
show.
Ko.
Okay, I rolled kind of shitty. I got an 8.
Even with assistance?
Oh wait, assist for advantage? My
If
bad.
you allow it, DM.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm not gonna. You're not allowed to roll low on this one.
Alright, 18. So we got an 18 for the performance this time.
Okay. So, Ko, as you begin to strum, you have not played this song in a long time. And in fact, you were unprepared for the wave of emotions that crashes over you as you begin to strum the tune.
Oh god.
You feel this sensation through your body, and this heat on the back of your neck, and your cheeks become flush as you continue to play. The song itself is foreign, but still the emotion rings true. It is a somber tone, but it has a hopeful cadence to it. Something that is definitely a product of the ongoing war the Kalashtar face with the Inspired. Temmin, as your companion plays his song, and as you see him recede within himself as he plays, a blue aura begins to surround him. And you watch as it begins to fountain out of him and coalesce beside him. There now lies a blue hue of some creature. Its form reminiscent that of a great wolf, but aspects of it misshapen, tendrils lashing off of it rhythmically with the tone of the music. Several onlookers stop and look as Ko begins to play, and people passing by begin to crowd around. Ko is unaware of the amassing crowd as he finishes his song.
And during this whole performance, as he was hearing Ko play this music, you can see Temmin's rather deep in thought, as it kind of reminds him of the similar military cadences that the soldiers he was with used to sing as they were marching off to war. And he's kind of awestruck by the amazing song that Ko is playing. But as he sees the tendril, he just kind of freezes up and begins to back away, as if struck by some kind of fear.
As the song concludes, Ko, you note several people staring at you, and then a few people whisper before, Yeah, great! Oh, that was amazing! What else do you have? Heath himself is rather impressed. Do you live here? Can I get you to play every day? He then starts pointing at people in the crowd. You look like you need a dragon cocoa. How about you, mulled wine?
Marketing it immediately. I like to imagine that as Ko was getting really, really into it, he kind of like started looking down and his eyes kind of closed. And much like usual, when his emotions are starting to flare up a bit, his eyes glow blue. So when he opens them to see the crowd and stuff, he's just like bright blue eyes just glowing there. And in response to Heath, well, I'm visiting, and while I don't imagine my time here will be long, I am more than happy to perform here while I'm still in the area.
Hey, of course, here. He tosses you a small pouch with 5 gold coins in it. That's for today. I'd say this is enough business. Yeah, I'll get to you in a second. You're good. Anytime you're around, you play.
Very well.
And over the next half an hour, the crowd slowly disperses. A few people walk up to you. They wish to shake your hand, ask you what bard school you went to, what magics you've learned for such a performance. You accept the gawkers and the questioners, hoping that one of them is going to be your clansman, but none such. And as the crowd disperses and the rush on Heath's hot drinks ends, and he begins to close his stall early, he looks at Temmin and Ko, the last 2 people hanging about. I'll leave the bar open for you. The mulled wine, you can finish off what's left, but I'm closing up for the night. Thank you again. I look forward to seeing you. And he puts on a hat, pulls it down, and makes his way out of the market. And you are both
Temmin
left.
just tips his hat to him.
Oh my god, I forgot you fucking had that on. Moldy ass hat.
And you are both
Nightcap.
left with one another again. Ko, you can't help but feel a little disappointed. And the conversation strikes up again, this time spurred on by Temmin, and it seems to be more focused on the effect of your life of war and where it leads you now.
Ko, remember when I said I would have an answer for you? I think it has reminded me of a time when I have walked through various towns, and the townspeople would look upon us and call us dogs of war and throw things at us. Vicious beasts who only know how to war and kill, not knowing how to love and to feel the sadness and the sorrow of what the townspeople must suffer through. It is said that even when war is over, some, such as the dogs of war, can only seek war, or it is all they know how to do. And I think that is the same of your people, and the spirits that you fight. Being in war for so long, you seek conflict because it is all you know. Perhaps there's a deep lingering fear of a life unknown.
Uh, well, I like to imagine that Ko is resting backwards on the bar, like he usually ends up doing. And he's got like whatever tinkered or whatever in one hand. And like, well, Temmin, it's not that all of us seek to prolong this conflict. Like I mentioned before, many Kalashtar would rather have peace. Our fight is one of survival, and while it seems, or in reality it is, quite the ongoing cycle of conflict and chaos between my kind and the inspired, it won't end unless we end it. We, the Kalashtar, we've tried. We've tried. Did you know? Well, I guess you wouldn't know this, but the first Kalashtar, they lived secluded, trying to prevent any sort of harm coming to them. Yet, here we are.
You see
Generations
Temmin
later.
sliding his hand over the book as he's looking over to Ko and hearing his words. In this book, it is stated, after war with your enemy, you come home to wage war on yourself. With the exploration of thought and ideas that perhaps you do not want war to end, and that the suffering that you have felt in war has become a reflection of how you now behave, a fear of things.
Nah, I think if one thing's for certain, I definitely want this war to end. I grew up learning ways to fit into societies because my people were fearful of the threat of the inspired. The inspired took over all major forms of government and power structure back where I'm from. They've embedded themselves. Much how, like I said, it's hard to make out a Kalashtar in a crowd unless they reveal themselves somehow. The inspired are the same. And when your enemies could be anyone, well, that does create a sense of fear. So, yes, Timon, I would very much love this war to end. I would love to have kids who are not taught that they must masquerade as some sort of other existence just to protect themselves. I'd much rather my children learn to play and laugh and be able to express their full range of emotions rather than trying to consolidate them and keep them in check at all times, because their bodies and their minds are infused with two spirits that are constantly shifting, never knowing whether or not, hey, is this my personality or does this belong to something that is beyond my existence? See, that's what it is to be a Kalashtar. To be fearful against the outside and the inside. Not every Kalashtar and Kori spirit get along. And for those of us who don't have such synergy, well, the only thing waiting for us is madness. And if you add on the stress of fighting war, well, Ko's gonna take like another swig. Long story short, Tim, I've lost plenty to this ongoing battle. And by the spirit of Raktal, I will not lose anymore. One way or another, it will end.
Tapping my hand on the book again. You see me grab the book even tighter and hold it even tighter. This book that states that true life can be found in death, and living to the fullest in knowing what death brings us to. And yet, the way you live in fear, not living true to yourself, always masquerading as yourself. As a warforged, I was taught to be proud and to always bare my chest towards my enemy.
Exactly.
And if I must die in battle, I will die as a warforged. But why? Why do you hide yourself?
Well, that's
Is that truly living?
It's a bit of an interesting situation for myself in particular.
Have you ever thought?
Oh.
Go ahead.
I used to be like the Kalashtar I described, fearful. But whether it's Raktal or me having just fought for too long in such a short life, it is as you say, I exist and I seek to continue to exist in the fullest extent, the fullest version of myself.
Then can't you do that now? You are here, in a place of peace, just as I have left the battlefield. You too have left the battlefield. I think all the time about what war has done to me and my compatriots. And I think about how it is now that our war is over. And yet we cannot change who we've become. It is the same I see in you, Ko. Why do you continue to resist and fight when you are in a land of peace? What if
Because, Temmin,
what if your war is over?
well, I'd have no way of knowing that, truly knowing that. See, while I might have been removed from the battlefield, my family, my home, those are in Eberron. I was taken and forcibly ejected from my homeworld in the midst of battle. Imagine you and your companions fighting, and, for example, let me just use Phoebe. As innocent as she is, or appears to be, imagine her just being left there without you by her side to defend herself. Could you exist elsewhere knowing that she remained and not knowing whether or not she survived? Not knowing whether or not your presence, your capabilities could have made the difference in whether or not she would live or die.
But if it is destined, and I cannot return to her, then all that can exist is my faith, and that she will be able to survive without me. For nothing is certain, Ko.
As their conversation reaches this point, they both find themselves sitting there in silence for some time. As Ko finishes his drink, looking out at the now closing shops of the Wide as people begin to disperse and head back to their homes. He feels discomfort within him. And as the silence lingers, he feels a sensation within his mind. A voice then comes to him. Go.
Yes, Roktau, I am here.
Something has happened.
What is it?
You then hear a commotion from the other side of the Wide. And you see several members of the Watch rush towards the commotion.
Oh, man. How far away is it?
Maybe 100 feet from you.
Okay.
Is it late evening or is it like nighttime?
Late evening. Sun is setting. Soon.
I think Ko's is gonna kind of watch for a little bit from his distance.
Okay. You hear some hollering from over at the commotion. Maybe the clang of some weapons. A few more Watch run over, and then silence.
I wonder what that's about.
Should we go take a look?
It's usually best to stay out of trouble and not go investigating things. But if you're interested, sure.
It is best to stay informed.
It's true. Regardless, it beats moping around here anyways.
So you get up and head on over to where this commotion is. You see a few people have gathered to gawk at whatever had happened, members of the Watch holding them at bay. And there, in the center of the commotion, is a smoldering crater.
Huh.
So can we tell what made the crater? Is it like a rock, fireball, something?
Guessing from the marks, it seems to be arcane in nature.
Let's see.
You hear one of the guards of the Watch yell to somebody trying to push by, "Are you mad? Who knows if it'll blow again? We've already seen 5 get eviscerated. Stay back."
Hearing that, I'm going to take a couple of steps back and kind of circle around towards where that guard was. And kind of just like peek my head across in between him. What seems to be going on? What's happening here?
I'm not entirely sure. Some lunatic went and exploded himself.
Does that happen regularly here?
No. Maybe it was a magical artifact misfunction or a miscast spell, I'm not sure, but stop pushing, man. It's not a safe area to be in.
Well, Temmin, somebody seems to have messed up majorly. Do you want to keep on trying to figure out what's happening, or shall we move on?
Perhaps I can look around. I want to cast Detect Magic.
Okay. So you can tell that there is a evocation. Let me just double check.
Okay.
Yeah, evocation magic that was cast here, so possibly a fireball of sorts, something of primal energy and power. You also...
Can I get like a read on where it might have come from, or did like the person that cast it like kill himself?
Oh yeah, that's the epicenter right there.
Oh.
Oh, fuck. Get right.
Yeah, and
Sheesh.
just reading Detect Magic real quick.
The man literally said, "Fuck all y'all, I'm taking y'all with me."
He woke up and chose violence to the highest
Oh, yeah.
degree on himself.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's all you get with Detect Magic. Ko, you feel that mental tingle again, and then you get this kind of chill on the back of your neck. And you feel this familiar energy, as if perhaps one of your kindred were nearby. You stare at the smoldering crater and you feel confused and then angered. And then you hear a soft voice from behind you. I thought it was... I thought I was imagining when they said it was... You feel a hand on your shoulder, and you are surprised momentarily as you turn around to see Lorasi.
Lorasi. Spell this for me.
Lorassi.
How the fuck did I know you was gonna do it way differently from what I was thinking?
Lorassi. This is Lorasi Raktao. Or Loraktao, as he is often called.
Huh.
Yes, one of the elders of your people. They had said they saw a spectral
I'm gonna
blue
like
wolf.
I'm gonna hold his hand and like kind of motion for him to like quiet and respond to him mentally. It is I.
He returns mentally. Ko, has Raktao chosen you?
It would seem so. Pyraktao is no more.
I had already feared the worst, but seeing you inspires hope in me. It is so good to see you
Likewise.
again, boy.
Come. Let us leave. Switching to vocal. Temmin.
Oh,
Let's go.
is
we've
this
seen
a
enough
friend?
here.
A Warforged here, he says out loud.
Oh, you know my kind.
Yeah, yes. Come
What
on,
other
guys.
kinds of spatial distortions have happened?
There is much to discuss, but first, let us depart from all of this.
Would you like some mulled wine?
Yes.
I believe there is some still remaining at Heath's.
Oh yeah. Yeah, a moment. Temmin, this is Lorasi Temmin.
Oh,
Good.
nice to meet you, sir.
You as well, Temmin.
I'm gonna like take a few paces over towards the shop, and then I will like snatch the tankard with my telekinesis, and then just like bring it over.
Ah, yes. Always good to service your elders. He then greedily drinks it down. Ko, are you staying here in this city?
Oh, I've been in water deep to the north. Is that correct? We went south to get here.
Yeah, we went
Yeah.
south.
Yeah, to the north.
I'd heard mention of this place. I've been here trying to get by for the past few months.
And
It
How
seems
you
no one
fared?
knows of our land or our people.
yeah, we're here on Toril, a place far removed from Eberron.
So it seems.
But yes, come. Temmin, do you know of any inns nearby?
Oh. We did not stay at any inns.
Useless. Useless computer.
When you had come into Baldur's Gate, yes, traveling like into the wide, on the outskirts of it, there are inns and taverns.
Okay.
When you came into Baldur's Gate and you had gotten off of your caravan, there was several shops and businesses in traveling caravans. If you wish to rent another one, you could head straight back now.
What time is it now? It's like in the evening, correct?
Yeah. He travels
think-
5 days, anyways.
True. I think first it'd probably be better to go to the inn.
Okay.
You know, just to have like a nice, comfortable kind of moment.
Okay. So you head to the inn.
Grace.
You head to the nearest inn, let's say.
Yes.
The Piccadilly.
Piccadilly. Nice.
Piccadilly.
So yes, you are within the Piccadilly. There are a few patrons in there, some of them drinking, some of them eating, and a live band playing music. They do have rooms for rent upstairs, a silver a night, and the food here seems to be quite decent as well. Lorasi is very grateful for the food, as of course you can imagine it's hard for an old man to acquire money, much less sustenance.
Yeah, like whatever he wants, Ko's just like, dude, everything
Yes.
open season.
Lorasi was one of the elders of your people. Wizened in his years. In his youth, he wasn't a warrior, but he was useful in the war effort. Now he guides the young and teaches the history of your people. So you say you've banded with a dragonborn and
Yes.
halfling?
Yes, she is quite adorable. You would actually love her. She kind of reminds me of a young you. Or so the stories go. All the peace and all the happiness. Yeah.
We never knew you for making friends, Ko.
Oh, but Ko is
Yeah.
so helpful.
These
How's
friends
her?
make me, if you will. Especially Kane. Can't get
Oh
rid of
yes,
him.
Kane. He is our leader.
Yes.
Last time I knew Ko to follow anyone's instruction. He still needed his pants changed. He looks at Temmin.
Oh, why might he need his pants changed, Elder?
Quite literal, this one.
Oh yes.
Such is the Warforged, evidently.
Oh, Ko, it is. Oh, I do hope that after my rest I do not wake to find you a mere dream.
No, no, no.
Oh,
Worry
you
not.
can
We
dream?
don't dream.
Figure of speech.
Figure of speech.
Oh,
Yes,
I was
yes.
going to offer this kind hat to you.
No, no.
Oh,
That is for you to give to Kane.
oh, for Kane, for
For
Kane,
Kane.
our leader.
Pardon me, but my age and this heavy food, I think we must rest before we travel to your city.
Yes, don't worry, don't worry. You take all the time you need. I came here specifically for you.
Oh,
An
yes.
ally was the one who tipped me off to your presence in this city.
Some powerful magic they must have.
Yes, they actually they were the one who aided in my connection with Raktao. Have you felt a diminished link since you've been here?
Yes, but I recall a few, maybe a little over a week or so ago, there was a bit of a connection that had returned.
Yes, that may be a matter of coincidence. Probably not. That is roughly around the time Raktao had made me aware of Pai's passing.
It is good that that which makes us our people is persisted with us even in this other land. Come, you can tell me more in our travel. For now, I need rest.
Absolutely. And I will rent out all the rooms that we need.
All right. So you procure lodging, and you rest for the eve. as you're resting, Temmin, do you still have the hat on?
I do. And I'm just standing still with Sentry's Rest.
Yeah. So as you enter your recovery, as your kind does, as you enter your recovery, as your kind does, your eyes are closed, though you are perfectly aware of your surroundings. However, you see something in front of you. You see a village. And you open your eyes and you look around. You're still in the room. And you close your eyes again and go back into your rest. And there the village stands once more. This time you allow the image to become clearer. And you hear voices, familiar voices around you. The sound of combat. And then you hear a familiar, commanding voice. That of Julius. You see him run past you into the village. And he stops and turns. And he looks at you. From where you are, from where you can see. And he waves you to follow him. And he shouts some command, but you can't hear him anymore. There's a ringing in your ears and this odd, muffled sound on everything. And then when you open your eyes again, the sun is peeking through the window. But you had only just closed your eyes.
As if instinctively moving. You see just Temmin is in a ready stance with his hand on Julius's greatsword on his back. As I turn to look at it and I let go of it, grabbing the hat on my head and bowing my head in silence and putting the hat over where my heart would be.
And that is where we are going to conclude this episode of Fancie's Fables. Our two wonderful, wonderful soldiers of war. Fortunately, some progress for Ko in his little mission to find his clan. Meeting with Lorasi. We, by the time we meet back up with all the players again, they will already be back in Waterdeep. So their travel from Baldur's Gate back north will have already occurred from this point. I want to say a big thank you to everybody in chat, blowing up chat today. Those subs and resubs. And a giant thank you to our wonderful players, Bullet and Dante, Temmin and Ko, respectively. Thank you so much, guys, for this awesome
and our wonderful
2-on-1
DM
episode.
Yes, the wonderful DM.
Yes, and me,
Sorry,
and me.
I always went the wrong way.
Oh, yes, and me.
I know, right? This thing's flipped.
Oh no, it's totally this way. Yeah.
Yeah.
His phobia,
Oh,
I've
my
decided, for funsies with everyone here, will be little squids. And it will be because Captain Julius, as great a man as he was a horrible cook, but loved to eat squid. And one of the things they would cook on their journeys would be squid they caught. And Temmin had a horrible time trying to handle these little things, and the distinct taste and texture of the strange tentacles has left quite a scar on him. And seeing Rocktao's little tentacles has stirred something in his memories.
That's good.
Fucking funny.
That's good.
So now
That's really good.
that is his phobia.
Yep.
If ours black tentacles, I pray to God he will be running from that spell.
That's great. I love that.
That's
So with all that being said, we're going to close this out. I love you guys. I appreciate all of you. And we will see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. EST, for episode 12 with Phoebe and Kane. Bye!